Alright, we are live. Get this link out here.
Oh, so all you guys saw that Mundane Man video?
Unfortunately,
I actually didn't bother because I saw the title and I knew it was gonna be stupid. So I decided, you know what?
Characters are white.
All set. We can do
I'm
that.
No. You,
All right, Matthew. You can go ahead and do your thing. You're stupid doing it, but you know. Well, no, I was talking to K-Guys the other day about this. It's like I can't really fault him for doing a video on that subject. I can fault him for being wrong. I can fault him for having no perspective on it.
Because first, he does, he looks up Makoto Kusanagi.
it's Motoko. not
Motoko.
Makoto. Wrong individual.
Okay. Kusanagi, and then he was like, "Does that look Japanese to you? She looks white." And I'm like,
What a stupid fucking comment.
Yeah,
the
thing is, he doesn't fucking watch anime, so
yeah, he doesn't really watch. And then he's like,
but his thing is, his format dictates that he has to comment on every little controversy. So it's not like it's like I told K-Guys the other day. It's exactly like how you don't see Wolf Blitzer coming on at 6 p.m. and saying, you know what, I got nothing, because he has to comment on it, even though his comment might completely lack perspective. 100% no perspective in what he's saying, but he's got to do it because that's where he makes his money.
And then he also
I respect the hustle, but he's wrong, and someone who's wrong should expect to be called out on being wrong.
Then he also Eric Eldridge, who's supposed to be German.
Yeah, that takes place in Europe.
Yeah. It's like...
yeah, I mean, for fuck's sake, in the movie, Hitler's in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. He doesn't really watch anime.
No shit.
Which is fine, but then
which is totally
don't
fine.
pretend you know shit.
He was on the other side.
Do not actually know shit.
He was on the fucking other side.
Which is great, because that's the perfect podcast for people who don't know a whole lot about anime.
No. I mean, one of his cronies didn't even know who Tezuka was. How do you not know who Osamu Tezuka is and be on an anime podcast? You know,
because you're there to prop up your narcissism.
Basically, you're there to...
They have not done a podcast since December.
Skip that way.
Yeah. And of course,
yeah. Knowing that would involve me caring.
What did I screen cap from Cody Byer, even though I blocked him because I don't want to have him come over and what did he something recent? It's like
I don't care.
I know.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck what he's on.
I really don't give a fuck.
Unless my name is in his mouth again, I don't really care.
I don't know. That wisecrack you shot off about Jillian was pretty funny.
I know what he said.
I just think it's hilarious how, like, we spent 11 minutes on him in that third segment of that episode, and he spent an hour
ranting
his
Raven.
podcast, half the time of his podcast, trying to roast us, and I'm like, dog. It's like I'm in your head now. At that point, I've gerrymandered this dude's head. So we wrote
interesting choice of words.
Now some of his constituency is voting for Time Enforcer Anubis and NTR Radio in his head now.
I found
he can't get NTR Radio out of his head at all, and we're just over here doing our anime podcast.
Wait, I found what it is that he said. Yeah, it was about the show Sherman made.
We don't care.
What? Okay. Let me ask you a question, VZ.
Yeah.
Yeah. Understanding who's speaking, understanding Shonen Maid, I don't see how this individual could have any perspective on Shonen Maid that I care about.
He goes, "No amount of chemotherapy can ever fix this."
Well, that's because it's some okay. It's some stupid halfway trying to be funny shit that nobody's laughing at except the exact kind of same people who would laugh at that thing.
Then again, try-hard furries are hilarious. It's like, fucking fictional
Here's the thing.
characters is bad, but you know.
I am 100% on board with the furry community.
I just don't care.
Don't be in the furry community and be making fun of other people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit, yeah. Like holy balls. It's like, you know, it's like, hey, I think I just saw somebody fucking Garfield. You might want to get on that.
It's like, dog. And I'm not even trying to roast the furry community, but it's like, you know the reputation you have. Don't try to. It doesn't need to be that you then need to down on other fandoms in order to bring yourself up. It's like number one, the damage has been done to the furry community. First of all, second of all,
Dash count anybody?
That wasn't even a furry con. I'm talking about like the CSI episode. You remember that?
No.
there was this CSI episode about furries, and that just blew up along the furry community. So there's the CSI episode is all like, well, like every time you see like a furry convention on the news or something, like the news never takes it seriously. Like, remember that time? I don't know if you heard about this. It was like last year and change. There was a furry convention that had to be evacuated because people found chlorine gas.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that.
And
because it's somebody from 4chan or something took credit for it.
Nobody really knows who
or
about it,
anonymous or something.
It's heavily speculated that it was one of those people who never grew up from when they were 14 and irrationally hated furries for no reason. But it's every news report no news report took that incident seriously.
No, they were probably
people. They were doing the news report, and the woman anchor was confused as to what furries are. So one of the people explains it to her, and she had to leave the stage laughing because she found the concept so ridiculous.
Yeah,
the damage has been done. Maybe, just maybe, it's not a good idea to go out and hate on other people for liking what they like, because let's be real, what you like is questionable by most people.
Yeah, I mean, if you just go up to average, I don't know, Joe Sixpack, as they say, and say you're a furry and they don't know what you're talking about, they're probably just gonna think you're into centaurs or something.
I mean, it's like you can go up to Joe Donut and say, hey, I'm an anime fan, and at least we have the Tezuka movies. At least we have the Tezuka movies. You can't go up to friggin' Joey Jojo and say, hey, I'm a furry. You can't do that, because then you're opening up an entire can of worms that really does not need to be opened up. There are ways to explain it, but unless you go really specific in how you explain that, you're gonna look like you want to bang animals.
I'm of otherkin.
Yeah, it's not the way to explain it.
No.
Most furries are
every
actually into that.
Yeah, I've always been kind of curious if, like, the people that are more like our age, VZ.
Yeah.
If they were just people that weren't allowed to have trolls when they were younger, those troll dolls.
Oh, yeah, ha, ha.
Because they had the hair.
Yeah. Oh, the people that dye their hair now. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
I found
If you're 40 to 50 years old and you're just now, hey, I'm gonna dye my hair neon green. Hmm.
That's the new midlife crisis. Because they can't
I
afford a Ferrari.
Well, clearly.
I actually heard I was listening to an interesting podcast about like the origins of where the otherkin stuff, and apparently it goes back to the 70s, and there were like people that were into like elves and such.
Yeah, but I like elves.
Yeah, but they were really into like and
So these
those
people took LARPing to a whole new level.
yeah, that's kind of
Yeah,
essentially.
it involved acid. And,
I wouldn't actually be surprised if it involved drugs.
no, especially if you said the 70s. Like, holy
Well, hey,
crap.
it's interesting when you find out like how in Atari, when they were big, like all the drugs they took and came up with some of their games.
I mean, hey, there's no other way you could have come up with Yar's Revenge.
Oh yeah,
You look at that game screen and tell me how that game is played. You can't do that because it's fucking gibberish.
I know how to play that game.
Do you want to
Okay,
explain it for
please-
Anubis?
Explain, okay, because I'm gonna bring up this Yar's Revenge screen. I understand we're late to begin, but I need, this is information I need to know because this bothers me.
If I vaguely remember, you gotta what is it? Okay,
Okay, so so I'm looking at the screen. Okay, I just clicked off the image like an idiot. Okay, so I'm looking at the screen right now.
Yeah.
And so I see at the right hand side, there's this yellow thing surrounded by a big red shield. There's this, I don't know what this is, some rainbow static in the middle.
Okay,
And
the
then
rainbow
thing at the
static.
left.
Okay, the rainbow static is you where he can't hit you. That's basically like a zone where he can't hit you.
Okay.
But I don't think you could shoot from there. You're supposed to try to shoot off that barrier that the enemy has. Try to shoot the entire barrier.
Okay.
Like not so much shoot all the barrier, but I think you're supposed to.
Well, yeah, it's like those barriers in Space Invaders.
Yeah, try to get to
Chips
him.
away.
Yeah,
Okay.
until you shoot him. But yeah, that shield thing is like basically your barrier. But I think the key off is that you can't shoot. You can shoot. Hold on. What is this shit here? It's this weird fuzz on the wall. Alright, I'm sorry.
Like, how complicated can a fucking Atari game be?
Some of them are pretty bizarre. No, there's some that are like incomprehensible without like the instruction sheets. Like,
So, I mean, question number 2: how the fuck are you supposed to figure that out from the screen? Because I'm looking at the screen, I'm like, okay, that
was one I used to play a lot.
That's how you play the game, but
because
how
I
does
didn't have a
anyone
Nintendo.
figure that out?
So,
I don't know how anyone's supposed to figure that out from the screen. There's some old school Atari games that you look at it and say, okay, I can get the gist of this just by looking at it. Yar's Revenge?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. There's some static. I don't know I don't know what this red thing is. I don't know.
Can we just turn this off and play Pitfall?
Yes, Pitfall. Yeah, you have an idea what to do.
See, that's the one I didn't
thing
have.
looks like an alligator.
That's the one I
want to
didn't
fight
have.
The alligator.
It's parodied like crazy, and that's the one I didn't have. Yeah, Yar's Revenge I had. A whole bunch of others.
You know they remade Yar's Revenge? I found this out a while ago while going through like games on the Xbox Live Arcade. Yeah, they remade Yar's Revenge, and it looks nothing like Yar's Revenge on the Atari, thankfully.
I just remember that it came with a comic book. Because like they tried to give it a plot. Because you're the bug aliens. You're the good. They're the good guys, and the humans are the bad guys.
Yeah. There's no way I would have gotten that from this game screen right here. So to be fair, I didn't realize that the first 3 Sonic games had a continuous story until like 2008.
I could infer that from playing with them, kind of. You know,
So
that's
looking back at
why
it,
I lump like the Genesis, though, like the 3. Well, actually, I include 3 and then Sonic and Knuckles as one game.
Oh yeah, same here. It's Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
That's why I consider that like one error, and then like everything after was just like.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We're getting away. So you got the A1 Pictures thing?
For long enough. Give me 1 second. Let me get that up. Let me get this fucking Yar's Revenge article off of my screen.
You might get infected.
But it's like okay, people talk about like E.T. the Extraterrestrial. That's the most horrible game ever. But at least you kind of know what you're supposed to do. Yar's Revenge, you look at that screen, I don't know what's going on. No idea what any of this is supposed to represent, what any of this is supposed to mean to me, and why I'm supposed to be doing any of this.
The one you need the booklet for, and especially even the comic book, was Sword Quest.
Sword Quest.
Yeah. 3 out of the 4 games, 1 wasn't released, and because it was if you ever watched the Angry Video Game Nerd episode, he tried to explain there was a contest to win like actual like real like quote unquote treasure, like real like gold and like a crown and a sword and all that. But it kind of hit at like right when the game thing, the video game
crash.
Yeah,
because there was a whole lot, way too much shit in the game industry. They hit shovelware maximum. What was it?
Oh, I found out there was a
Purina
dog. What is it? There was I think it was oh no, the one Chase the Chuck Wagon dog food game.
That sounds like the most terrible idea ever.
Yeah.
There was also
like that's as bad as that the Yo Noid game.
There was a Quaker Oats one and a Kool-Aid one.
Like, I don't know. These might be. It's gonna be a tough one, but these might be as bad as those religious Christian NES games that were unofficial.
Oh yeah.
Does anyone remember like the 3 Burger King video games they came out with?
No.
Vaguely.
I remember Burger Time.
They were like for the Xbox or something.
Yeah, they made 3 games for like the Xbox 360. They were all garbage, but I mean.
Well, no. What are you gonna get for like?
They legitimately spent development dollars making doo-doo video games for the 360 to promote their band.
I just got this hilarious visual of them. Did these things ever have commercials?
They advertised them in like, you know, there were Burger King commercials naturally, but I mean
it's like, did they have like the King playing them or something?
Yeah, they were all about the King.
Oh.
Like Sneak King, which is like you're sneaking around as the Burger King and giving people burgers. I don't know.
So it's
Pocket Bike Racer, where you're the king and you're racing on one of those tiny little motorbikes, and the third one I don't even commit to memory.
So Metal Gear King.
Metal Gear, stupid. Give me a second, I'll be right back, and then we'll start.
Yeah, I'll be right back too.
Guess it's up to me to entertain.
Alright, I'm back.
All right. Ready? So, how's that editing going?
It's going pretty good. It's not done
Interesting.
yet, but it's going pretty good.
Will we ever see the missing 10 episodes? Or actually, there's more than that now.
Yeah. It'll happen. I just need to actually commit to firing up Audacity because they're all in Audacity.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to work with that jank-ass framework again. But it'll happen.
No!
No!
Well, it's great because, like, immediately karma kills him. Just, like, instantaneously as he says, "End of stage, motherfuckers." And then, no! Just cuts him down right immediately. The visual there is hilarious, too. Because it clips him just as the thing was getting to the boss pose to come after him, and then it just completely fucked him over. And there's like no checkpoints in that level either. It's one of those things where you got to do it in one swoop.
Yep.
Old video games were pretty merciless.
Oh, yeah. And it kind of pisses me off, too, because there's games that I used to beast out when I was, 7 that I play today, and I'm like, I
Sucked
can't get
really
past the
bad.
second boss here. What's going on? I used to make it to the end of this game every single time, and now I can't get past the second boss.
That's about me.
I'm
Like
pissed
when
at
I
myself because it's like somehow I went from not sucking to sucking, and then 2, why is this so like I'm easily twice the age I was when I used to beast out this video game, and now I was like, oh well.
it's almost as bad as when I picked up Punch Out recently, and it just like was so shitty at it. I used to be able to just cream it, and now I just suck at it. It's one of those ones where you have to kind of practice at it for a little while.
Okay.
Okay.
You don't hear the fan, do you?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. So
There's someone outside screaming.
did you?
The fan.
Yeah. Fan of NTR Radio. Did you hear before we start? Did you hear about the thing with I know you never seen A Little Love Life, but Hanukkah, the main girl, the thing about her Seiyu.
Nope.
You didn't hear about that?
Nope.
No, because I don't really pay attention to that.
I'm the wrong guy to ask about anything with Seiyus.
Okay, apparently it has come out that prior to doing Love Live, she was in a porn video.
And all the otaku are pissed. Let me guess.
I saw one guy that bent his Blu-ray and bashed his figure.
Well, that's his loss. That's his money he spent on it. He shouldn't. Maybe. Bear with me. Being an idiot is an option. You don't have to be stupid.
The evidence is
but in the words of Weird Al Yankovic, do you dare to be stupid?
High five there.
That guy does.
What is it? The evidence seems pretty sound because it's they compared the same mole and the same
They
teeth.
compared her moaning to her voice acting work.
No, her mole, not moaning.
That was a joke.
Oh, moan. Yeah, okay. And what is it? There was there was supposed to be some streaming thing with her voice, with her voice actors, but it got canceled.
Of course,
and
got pissed. Because they
and it came out just as there was this like concert that was like Final Love Live, because they're retiring the Muse characters, like those. So that news like came out like right after.
Wine.
It doesn't matter, because you can never win. Here's the thing. When
I don't care
like, people who aren't us hear this news, they're gonna get pissed that and they're gonna compare this to the whole idol culture thing.
Oh yeah.
And the thing about it is, in idol culture, you sign a contract. It's like this is so it's like.
Yeah, but well
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're like us and you can handle nuanced points, then you can be on one side with the idols thing and be on the other side when something like this happens.
It's not that this was because
right now.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not that she was dating someone like during being an idol. It's that finding out that she was in porn before being an idol.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like,
boo fucking who.
Usually when anything happens with any idol thing, I'm like, you signed a contract, and if you breach the contract, you suffer the consequences, because there's a reason that, regardless of what you think about the industry, this is the state of the industry, and it's your decision whether or not you sign the contract. But then something like this happens, and people are going to address this in the same way as the idols thing, and in this sense, they're right, but only because the circumstances are fundamentally different.
Yeah.
Again, this is all just very inconsequential crap to me.
Yeah, it's inconsequential. But I mean, my point is, it's a nuanced point. So it's a thought that it's a point that has more than one thought in it. So
people breaking their Blu-rays, or obviously not getting them.
What I'm saying is like, if we were to approach,
she's not there anymore.
Average people who usually complain. Is there a fly in here? Average people who usually complain about the whole idol thing, with how we address this issue, we're gonna look like we're flip-flopping, when really we have a nuanced approach to this situation. That's my point. Let's start.
Yes.
We've been bullshitting.
When we talk about what we're watching, make sure that, because I've been watching the most out of you guys, obviously. So
yeah, I got some stuff I've been watching, and I'm excited to talk about it, because it's
new season stuff.
Up.
All right, let's get going.
Let's do this. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to NTR Radio. I'm Tom Enforcer Anubis.
I'm K-God.
And I'm just a fucking white male, VZ Mark II.
Yeah.
And I'm on the internet. Okay.
So how's it been going?
Not too bad.
Okay.
The weather's starting to get nice, and
Oh yeah.
I have a great story. I got a great story. I think you guys will really appreciate this.
Is it about you being injured?
No.
Because
it's about someone else.
Remarkably common with NTR Radio. Stories about us getting injured.
No, but somebody could have. You're going to get a big laugh out of this. First off, I really hate when people are playing basketball in the middle of the street, especially if it's a busy road. Like it's a main road.
So you never get that around here. Like, people have driveways.
Yeah, well, the thing is these people have a driveway, but they're still playing in the street.
Oh, so they're just dumb.
Yes, they're stupid. It gets better, though. First off, they expect you to go around them. And by that, I mean, turn left, on the street before and go around them.
Basically go around the street.
Yeah, basically. Like we own the streets, kind of thing. Which in and of itself it's annoying, but it's not as annoying as what happened the other day when this was going on. They took it one step further.
Uh-oh.
And by that I mean they weren't just playing basketball in the street. There was 2 guys wrestling in the street, like on the ground, rolling around.
That's how people get hurt.
I'm
like for real.
This is a good way to get killed. Not gonna lie, somebody's not watching. They sneeze or something. You're an ornament.
Yep.
Wow. But yeah, I don't know. The older I get, the less tolerance and patience I have for stupid shit in the road.
I mean, here's the thing. Whatever happened to car? And then everyone.
Oh yeah. Like when you're playing like hockey or something.
Yeah, you're playing like street football or whatever, and saying
or whatever.
Car, and then
everybody moves and splits down the middle.
Move to the closest side of the street to where you are.
No car, I'm the boss.
And then the car goes through, and then you all reconvene and continue your game.
No car, I'm the boss.
Yeah, it's like okay, no you're gonna. I'm a human child. I weigh like 85 pounds. This is a piece of large construct of metal and plastic that is it has such a weight to it that its weight is measured in tons, in units of 2,000 pounds rather than units of 1 pound. So, I'm not an expert, but I'm gonna bet on the car if these two things would collide.
Yeah,
this isn't exactly the unstoppable force and the immovable object. This is the unstoppable force and the 85-pound little shit kid.
Okay, so before the new season, I wanted to say that I'm still continuing with Double Zeta.
Oh, okay.
I'm up to like 28 or so.
You might have passed me then.
Okay. I'm enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying it.
Isn't it really good?
It's pretty enjoyable. Yeah,
I don't get why people are hating on it.
I was expecting like, oh, it's so terrible this first half. I was expecting like, and remember, I didn't find Dragonar to be very. I found Dragonar to be very boring, which is comparable to Double Zeta. No, this I'm actually pretty liking. I wouldn't say it's the best Gundam, but it's or the best that UC offers, but I'm enjoying it.
Well, it's fine. It's certainly not the best, but
I like Judo.
It's good.
I like Judo. I'm glad again it's a Gundam pilot that isn't like I know that most Gundam pilots have to be like emo-ish, for the lack of a better word, but. Also great designs in that.
Lovely designs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so new season starts.
Before that, join us in the IRC. Here's what you do. Go to she'slost-control.net/podcast, upper right-hand corner. You see the chat link. Click that. It'll take you to a page with a chat client in it. Give yourself a nickname and join us in the IRC channel. Alternatively, pick up your favorite IRC client, point it at irc.ryzen.net, and join us in the # SLC Media channel. And failing all that, you can get at us at Twitter, at TEAnubis, at LazyErica00, at, that's 00 by the way, at VZMK2, and you can email us at ntrradio@gmail.com. Go VZ.
Oh, actually before I start, how's that kit in the background? Because I've been curious about that.
So this is one of the Frame Arm Girls kit. I haven't built it yet because I just got it today. But I built another one. You can see it right here. They're pretty good. They require some paint to bring out the full look, but they're relatively easy to snap together, and they look really nice.
Does the face look good if you don't
Oh, the face is beautiful regardless.
Okay,
Like,
because I might get one.
This is except for like the blush here is an unpainted face. You probably can't see it with the camera, but I have the unpainted face on it, and it looks fantastic.
I might get one down the line just to try it, because they're comparable to Bunso Shinki basically.
Pretty much.
You just gotta assemble them.
And like they're compatible with all with the actual frame arm kit's weapons, so you can interchange them with all that.
They showed off like, I don't know if I'm sure they'll go with it, but actual like Bunso Shinki characters with that. They showed off like the main girl.
If that's the case, I'm gonna have to get on that then.
The last Wonderfest, I think it was. Okay, so new season. There's some nice stuff, and there's stuff that wasn't as good as I was hoping I had a drop.
I watched two things.
Okay. First off is the only short that I'm watching, and I'm really loving this. Panda Peace, or translates as Peace Through Bread. Not Panda Peace, Panda Peace. Just that's really fucking cute.
It's about yeast.
Pretty much. It's just cute girls, and they like bread, and they make bread.
I like how I just love the description to that. It's cute girls and like bread. That's the anime.
Yeah.
Ambiguously lesbian.
Naturally.
You know.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so as far as actual full-length shows, first one that I'll go talk about is Anne Happy, by Silverlink. That one I'm enjoying a bit. That one is the one about the girls that are all unlucky, and they're in the class for people that are all just have bad luck. Yeah, it's directed by Shin Onuma, which is the guy that he worked for Shaft, but he also does for Silverlink. He's kind of the responsible for that like halftone look for like
all right.
You know, if you ever seen like Panic Point Dash or Bakken and Test, or I think he directed Watamoto also. So he has a certain look to his shows. The manga's coming out, and I actually pre-ordered that. Just curious to how the manga is. Okay, the other one here, Bakuhan, long awaited.
That's on my checkout list.
Yeah, I know. I've been seeing your retweets so I've been enjoying it. I don't think it's a 5-star show, but it's a definite solid 4 if we were to give like numerical ratings to these. It's not as far as like, remember me complaining about like CG bikes and such. It's actually not as much of that. Like, there's a lot of like they draw the bikes regularly. It's not as bad as I was. It's only maybe when they're on the bikes and they're moving them.
Right.
That's probably the only thing. But it's really not. It's really not as bad. With that. It's only 2 episodes so far. So. And what else? Sanya Sancho, which is Doga Kobo's new show. That one I'm liking quite a bit. That's the one from the manga, the same that's Engaged to the Unidentified.
Oh, all right.
I kind of recommend that one a bit. It's not maybe the best in premise. It's not going to win you over in terms of what you're going to watch it for is Doga Kobo's animation quality. Because holy shit, especially the first episode looks some scenes look amazing, like animated fluidly. Also, I think that's the opening of the season, in my opinion. A surprised show, a show that I wasn't picking up, and I'm like, oh, all right, let me try this out, and I actually am enjoying this. Kuma Miko, which is that's the one about the shrine maiden who she's 14 but she looks lowly-ish, and this big orange bear And so naturally, of course, the pedal bear jokes write themselves.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I was actually going to say,
Even though
I bet the jokes are flying about that
yeah,
already.
even though he states he's actually fixed.
It's good to know.
Yeah, they actually say that in the show. No, it's surprisingly enjoyable. I would recommend at least try that one out, see if it's for you or not. You know what it reminds me of? Like, not maybe in premise, but like the feel is that show that. Oh god, I totally forgot the name of. But the one, Inari Kankan. That's the one.
Okay.
Maybe because it's about like Shintoism and such. It has that feel to it. Okay, so there's those, but then there's stuff that I dropped. The first one, like, I couldn't get into the first episode, was Netoge. The one, there's no girls online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one really wasn't for me. I know it was cute. She had her the main character's girls chest bounce wherever she moves. You know, I should like that, but I don't know. I just couldn't get into that one. I wasn't even planning to watch it. I only watched Super Lovers just because that's the 15-minute controversy of the season.
What is going on with Super Lovers that is controversial?
Oh, okay, because it starts off with, you know how it's like an older guy and a younger guy? Well, it starts off where it's like a flashback to where he was really young, and he was like, and then the older character was just a little younger, so they kind of complain that's kind of a grooming thing.
Yeah, yes. It's totally like Subway.
And then they were kissing in the first episode and such.
Well, I think we'd have to be worried if they were yelling Jared.
Okay, and another one, I gave 2 episodes. I tried, I cannot get into High Fury.
See, I'm 100% opposite on High Fury. I'm so on board with that show.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, both episodes.
I wasn't sure if you were gonna like that one. I was like,
it's great. Fucking Navy cute girls is like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do exactly that, please.
All right, here's my problem with it. 2 things. One, the background music is horrid.
I've never even noticed the background music.
Okay.
Except when like that one girl was going through like how she thinks the scenario played out.
Okay, there's that. There's, except for like the main girl and the main girl with the dark hair, there's no character to any of these girls whatsoever. There's like 0. And before people accuse me of, oh, but what about Cinderella girls? There's characters that are like, what are their character? Okay, here's the difference between that and this and that. There's info that you could look up about those characters.
All right, I'm sorry, Daisy. I'm gonna have to call you out because how do you expect that to be the excuse? So what? So now you have to go into supplementary material to get more out of the anime. So
I think so.
I'm 100% not on board with that. That's like those people who say, oh well, if you read the manga, it made sense. I'm not here to read the manga. I'm here to watch the anime.
I understand that, but it's not necessarily. But
what I'm saying is,
it's a bonus.
It's a bonus, 100%. That's cool in the gang, but you can't tell me that excuses the lack of characterization.
There's no, and besides, at least for the ones in focus in Cinderella Girls, you get a decent amount of characterization. At least you get to know.
It's the same thing. Number one, we're 2 episodes in. That's first of all. Number 2, the same thing happened with Girls in Panzer. Other than like other than Irwin and Oreo and Caesar, if you after finishing Girls and Ponzer, if you'd asked me any of those other characters' names, any of the characters in the M3 League, or any of the characters, especially the volleyball team, I still don't know their names. So I'm like,
oh, see, that's funny. I actually remember some of the volleyball team girls.
If you asked me their names, I wouldn't have an answer for you. Like only the characters who like wear weird
Saki's one of my
shit.
favorites from that.
Yeah, I don't know who that character is. But that's my point. Is even only the ones that wear weird shit, like Nekonya. I remember Nekonya because she had the swirly glasses and the cat ears.
Right.
I remember Caesar because she had the red scarf. I remember Irwin because she had the hat.
And Oreo.
And Oreo because she's Oreo. But
because they're a delicious snack.
Naturally. But what I'm saying is, it took me a really, really long time to actually learn these characters' names. And there is some characterization happening there, but I mean, what's happening in Girls and Ponzer especially is that you're being characterized to the characters more as a team than you are as individuals.
Okay.
And I feel like that's going to happen in High Fury, where you're getting to know some of these characters, but it's more as their role than as an individual. But
well,
we're only 2 episodes in.
Okay, but also
all I'm saying is naval combat. Let's get on board.
Well, here's
I'm
how
cool with that. Let's do the in the Navy. Let's do that.
Well, here's I mean, it might change again because it is early on, and I'll maybe I'll go with another episode. But here's the difference. Here's something I'm gonna go. Stay with me on this one. Girls in Panzer is to strike witches what it's an SAT question. SAT.
I swore you were going to say STD.
No, it's an SAT question. Okay, Girls in Panzer is equal to strike witches what High Fury is equal to Sky Girls.
No, 100% disagree.
Have you seen Sky Girls?
I know. I've seen what you said about Sky Girls, and I know what you said about Sky Girls comparing to Girls in Panzer. No, comparing to Strike Witches, and going off of that assessment, 100% disagree. The High Fury has a very interesting world. I mean, dog, global warming has raised the sea level to where they're like parts of Tokyo are underwater.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is.
I want to see more of what's going on there. So that already has something over Sky Girls. I'm liking the characters so far. We're only 2 episodes in. The way they go about the combat is so interesting to me because it's like in the first few episodes of Moretsu Pirates, where all the girls are on that like
that one I haven't seen, but I know of the show. Yeah.
So like all the girls are on the sailing ship, and it's supposedly not armed, but you find out later it was supposedly formerly a pirate ship or whatnot. But
right.
what's happening is they're in the school's yacht club, and they're on this space tour flying around the sun, and they get attacked, and so they have to figure out what to do and figure out how to repel this attack and keep themselves from getting killed out here in space. And so you've got that kind of procedural drama where what's going on is the engine room's got to do this, and then the helmsman's got to do this. We got to load the cannons and fire the guns, and that's super interesting to me. That's always been interesting because I grew up a Navy kid, so that's always been super, super interesting to me. So I'm really excited to see where it's going to go.
I'm just worried that you're going to engage in further village people behaviors, like wearing a tool belt and a hat, hard hat.
It's that and YMCA are the only 2 songs I know, so you're safe. I have no reason to break into singing YMCA.
By the way,
I don't think there's any reason why this podcast would have anything to do with the Young Men's Christian Association.
By the way, before we move on, what I forgot to mention also about like stuff like Cinderella Girls, where you need to, it's almost required. It's not necessary.
That's a bad thing, in my opinion.
But it draws you into looking at supplemental material because it's, the characters have albums, so it makes you want to listen to their albums and to get more out of that.
That's only if it actually does end up making you listen to their albums. My thing is, you can have the little bit characterization, and for some people that's gonna interest them more. For other people, it's gonna say, okay, they barely characterize these characters. I don't know anything about them. I have no real purpose for learning anything more about them, so I'm just gonna say, hey, I'm a fade out. But it's a crapshoot, is all I'm saying. And my point is, it's not fair to the anime. It's not fair to the viewer to say you can watch this anime, but to actually get a full experience out of it, you got to go through all this supplemental material. That to me is not a good anime. I want to watch the thing, and if it interests me in the supplemental material, that's one thing. But if I have to, if it's required
it's
that
not
I go into the supplemental material to get anything out of it.
Right. Fair enough.
That's a big problem with light novel adaptations.
To a certain extent, but a lot of the ones I've watched and enjoyed are that fully contained experience.
Well, if nothing else, it might make you want to go back and actually play it.
Certainly.
Or like Aragay.
You're talking about visual novels, not light novels.
Not light novels. My bad. I am running on serious fumes here. Sleep deprivation is not cool.
No, I mean that's, and to a certain extent that's sort of what a whole lot of anime is supposed to do, because a lot of it is basically just an advertisement for the source material. But at the same time, it should serve as as far as being an anime show goes, it should serve as both. It should serve as that and a fully contained experience. But that's just my dumb opinion.
Have you watched anything else from this season?
I watched the first episode of Mobile Suit Gundam Ray 0096.
Oh, okay. The unicorn on TV, basically.
Pretty much.
And
okay. How's that?
I think some of the visual effects have been kind of redone, but other than that, it's the same as the first few.
Yeah,
minutes.
I saw there was the hand shading where it was more shading on it or something.
Yeah. One thing I need to address with that though is, what are they doing with the opening and the ending? Because it's just like the credits and some music over various shots from later in Gundam Unicorn.
Oh, I get it. You wanted a whole new opening that
I don't know what I really wanted, but I know I didn't want what I got. It's like because it's just like the most generic possible opening and ending you could have made, because it's literally just, let's take some scenes from Gundam Unicorn, play music, and have like a filter over it, and then that's our opening, and the ending pissed me off too, because so here's what they do: is like they're showing all these shots, and you remember Loni Garvey, the little brown girl who piloted the Shamblo and went crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like they show off Loni Garvey, and she's in the Shamblo, and this is where she's like destroying the city and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then like a couple seconds later, they show her get fried by that beam rifle. I'm like, dog, what are you doing? So now as soon as we see Loni Garvey in the show, we know she's gonna get fried by the beam rifle. Massive spoiler for anyone who hasn't already seen Gundam. So my question is, who is this anime for, if that's going to be your opening and your ending? for people who've already watched Gundam Unicorn, because I can watch Gundam Unicorn whenever I want.
I'm gonna assume it's probably for people that already seen it. I'm gonna actually
What's the purpose for that though? What's my question? It's like, what are you doing?
Actually, I'm gonna assume that this was a late addition for Sunrise to make this. That they probably wanted to be as cheap as possible.
Well, yeah, I mean they announced it like what, December?
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'm not really complaining about its existence because I'm good with more Gundam Unicorn. Let's go with that. But all I'm saying is, who's this for? Because if that's going to be your opening and your ending, you're already spoiling stuff. And so new people are going to watch this, are going to watch the opening and the ending, and they're going to see, okay, as soon as I see this character, I know she's going to die. So
thank you.
How are you gonna? Thank you for spoiling a major plot point for me. And I realize that part of it is context. So like you're gonna see the character and you're not gonna know why all of this transpired, but you know what happens. So and it's to a certain extent, like if you the first time you watch it, it's kind of shocking because it's like, oh no, well, okay, she's dead.
Better than what is it, like how in Double Zeta Char and Amuro was shown, but they never actually
show up.
Yeah, actually, I hear what's his face was notoriously bad for showing stuff that was supposed to happen but never actually transpired, or did it in the shittiest way possible. Was C Destiny? was that true?
C Destiny has plenty of problems outside of that, in my opinion.
Much, yeah.
I know. I'm just saying.
Okay, I finished up the tournament saga from Dragon Ball. Finally. I also watched Paranoia Agent.
Yeah.
Which is
Satoshi Kon's.
Yes, but one of the things that was intriguing about it, again, more evidence for him being a self-loathing individual. Because like one of the scenes is like this fat otaku dude just like plowing this prostitute.
That's actually the only scene I ever seen from the show.
And like it focuses in on it too, like.
And he's like holding the figure.
Yeah, and like he's making the noises as he's like busting. It's just like what the fuck.
Yeah, that's like the only thing I ever saw of the actual show.
Yeah, I need to actually sit my ass down and watch that show one of these days.
Yeah, he's definitely, like, you can tell he's a self-loathing otaku. That he was a self-loathing otaku.
Yeah, because a lot of it, because everything I've ever seen of his has that type of character in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
That otaku, the absolute worst.
Yeah, I mean, basically, but yeah, excuse me. Beyond that, I've been kind of busy. Been doing a lot of home improvement, as you would say.
I actually cleaned my closet the other day.
In and out my closet. Song.
Yeah. Yeah. At least there's been all ice.
I can't hear the term cleaning my closet without hearing that song. The song messed me up.
Yeah. Well, you know. Well now every time I hear the Jaws theme I start laughing. Again, inside joke.
Alright. I think we should break.
Well, okay. First of all, before we do that, I have some purchases that I want to go over. I did make some purchases. First of all, I actually got this today. The Frame Arms Girl Materia White Version model kit. So I'm going to be building that on the next couple days.
Nice.
And then other than that, I got this new pop shield, this badass desk-mounted mic stand, so I don't have to deal with the massive cumbersome tripod that sits on the floor and gets in my way all the time.
Yep.
And then uh, in the same order with the mic stand. I ordered Beautiful Fighting Girl by Tamaki Saito.
Mm-hmm.
So like this is Tamaki Saito is he's in the psychology field,
Yep.
and he's basically going through the psychoanalysis of why we see in anime specifically all these young girls who are battling all the time, and to a certain extent, it's kind of sorta the counterpart to Database Animals, in which
Oh, okay. I've heard of it before.
Yeah, so Hiroki Azuma is approaching it more from a narrative-driven, postmodern sort of approach, whereas Tamaki Saito is going through it from a psychological approach at the level the otaku are at. So that's why I ordered it. I'm basically doing is I'm trying to find as much research on otaku as I can.
Is it condescending the way the other book was?
As far as I've read, no. It's really approaching this from a
Like pretentiously condescending.
well, no, it's really approaching it from I want to genuinely find out what this is, what's going on with this sort of mindset. So rather than the way Azuma approached it, where he approached it from a more high level, okay, they talking about narratives and structures and all that. Saito is approaching it more from a individual psychological point of view at the otaku's level.
Otaku are just all man babies.
No,
Yeah, I
when we get to the third segment, I got some words for that. So
Otaku just break their figures when they find out that their seiyuu was in porn.
I mean that's something I just can't excuse at all. In any case, though,
Nah.
we are coming up on the break. Keep it right here for NTR Radio.
Awkward pause.
I actually got in. Wait a minute. Oh, wait. Okay. Are we good?
We're good.
Okay. Last week I actually got some stuff, but I didn't feel like getting up and get. One was a Transformer, and the other was they were both from Amazon. The other was that crane prize of Ranko I told you about.
Oh.
And you know what? I'll get it right in 1 sec. Amazon has some nice crane prize figures for good prices. This wasn't that. This was like only 18.
Oh. Yeah, it's not bad at all.
I'll be right back.
Gotcha.
you're gonna Anubis.
Yo.
You're gonna try out Bakuan and Happy and Senya Sancho.
Hell yeah. Especially Bakuan. I'm on board with cute girls on motorcycles. Go.
Yeah. I might give another episode of what's its face, just of High Fury.
That show is so in my wheelhouse.
Mm.
It's like I thought it was just gonna be cute girls on naval ships, but apparently there's gonna be some kind of actual story with it, which is even better. We're on second segment.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to NTR Radio. As always, you can join us in IRC at irc.ryzen.net, channel pound or hash SLC Media, or just go to gsuxcontrol.net/podcast in the upper right hand corner, hit the chat link, give yourself a nickname, join us in the IRC.
Yeah.
So, A1 Pictures.
Yeah, this was my idea because I figured it's time to talk about. Yeah.
Isn't it time we talked about A1 Pictures?
Everybody needs. Yeah. No. It's for some reason that's reminding me of like when you get the religious person that's trying to. Isn't it about time you heard about Jesus? Kind of discussion.
Isn't it time that you heard about A1 Pictures?
Isn't it time you heard about A1 steak sauce?
If you don't know about that by now, I don't know how you function.
So A1 Pictures is, as it says here, founded by ex-Sunrise producer, a subsidiary of Sony Music Entertainment's anime production Aniplex. So it's basically a subsidiary of Aniplex.
Yeah.
Which means, especially, we'll get to this later, especially for what Aniplex US. If something is A1 Pictures, it's going to be released under Aniplex USA now.
Yep.
As evidenced by the fact that the recent season of Working is not going to be released by NIS of America, but Aniplex USA. So the reason why I wanted to do this is A1 Pictures is kind of like one of those studios that's kind of been prominent for the past, I would say, 5 to 6 years, just almost at the level of like JC Staff in terms of just they have something every season with their name on it.
Right.
So they've been ranking up the shows there.
I think you mean racking up.
Racking up the shows. Okay. Yeah.
It's like pool.
Yeah.
Except it's anime shows.
I first knew about them in 2008 when the first show of theirs that I saw was Kanagi Crazy Shrine Maidens, which is actually a co-production with Ordet, which is Ordet is Yamakan Studio.
So
we all know what to expect from them.
Mr. Make Anime Great Again.
Yes. Well, if he was banking, you should have banked on Crazy Shrine Maidens because if that's what
good.
Crazy Shrine Maidens is actually very good. It's actually one of my favorites from them.
But Yamakan doesn't think he's gonna make anime great again with an adaptation.
Well, that's the thing. Looking at the manga, I realized that the strength wasn't so much Yamakan's directing as so much as
source material.
Exactly. not all, but some of the episodes, especially the second episode, had like just crazy fluid animation, which I hear he was against that. He didn't like, for some reason, he didn't like that the animation got like super high for that one. I don't know why, but
That
but that's not the
stupid
only
thing to be against in your anime.
Yeah, I don't know what, but that's
I
not
want this
the
work of animated media to not have fluid animation.
Not be so good. That's just like I want my water to not be so clean.
But that's not the only reason why I really like that show. It's because it was just really funny, and the main character Nagi is something that, I mean, we've seen the premise of like the goddess that comes to Earth, and most of the time, like, I'm not against this, mind you, but usually they're like the Yamato Nadeshiko type art type.
Well, yeah, because like the quintessential example of that is Belldandy.
Yes.
For sure.
Nagi does not act like that. Nagi acts kind of like a spoiled teen, but in a cute way. But she still kind of acts a little bit bratty.
So she ends up pregnant.
Well, they actually made a joke about that, but not in the way that you would think. It's hard to explain. You would have to seen it. No, but I really like that show. It's a shame that it just, it's ironic because it's a show about getting rid of curses, that it just essentially got cursed. What with so much about, like, again, the fact that it never got a second season. It was like 13 episodes and an extra episode, so 14. And there was the thing about the thing in the comic where you find out that she had a boyfriend before or something.
Yep, and all the otaku went buck wild for no
reason.
Well,
yeah, there's a picture of the guy that ripped up his manga collection.
Yep.
And then shortly after, the mangaka got really ill. And then, what was it? The place that the comic takes place was actually hit hard by the tsunami.
Just can't get your break.
Yeah, exactly. It's just. Oh, and on even here, both the anime and the manga were released by Bandai Entertainment. And we know
so it was immediately shut down.
Yeah. It just could not get a break, and that's one I really hope that show gets license rescued down the line. Because you know what? I would rebuy that on Blu-ray. There's this weird nebulous going on right now, or I don't know what the proper term is, because right now that the Japanese companies want to control how stuff is being released, we're going to be seeing stuff that comes out, like, let's say something now, and it's like licensed, going to come out years from now instead of like the next year. Unless it's like an Aniplex type of thing. You're going to be seeing stuff, but also we're kind of seeing old stuff. Not just old stuff, but like stuff that's like almost 10 years old get re-released to get license rescued and put on Blu-ray. Because I had a pre-order that I couldn't resist. I had a pre-order. Funimation is releasing on Blu-ray Lucky Star. Yeah, and I think Lucky Star. What?
No, I was just gonna say, visually, I don't really see that being that much of an improvement on Blu-ray.
True, but I just wanted to, I'll sell like my DVD copies, and I think it's worth owning. It's one of those shows to like worth owning again in a way.
Well, again, I have it on DVD, but
yeah.
I'll basically put a moratorium on Funimation purposes until I see the condition of the final Prison School dub.
Fair enough. I don't feel as strongly as you guys do.
And that's sort of the point I was about to make is that to a certain extent I think that seeing the way companies like Funimation are acting up, to a certain extent, having experienced that, I have less of a problem with the Japanese companies wanting to come in and control how the things are released. Because at that point, you have a better chance of getting how the anime was actually supposed to be, instead of how a third party wants you to have the anime.
Well, fair enough. Sense. This is not like they're really doing any work to it. It's just a license rescue.
No, so that's what I'm saying. I'm good with the paradigm, because if it means that we're gonna get anime in the condition that it was created, then I'm fine with that. Instead of letting third-party companies run over the script and say, "Oh, I don't like this, I'm gonna change it."
Okay. Anyway, back to this. So anyway, before we got derailed, I would just say that I would get like a license rescue on Blu-ray of Kanagi, Crazy Shrine Maidens. Okay. What else did I see? I actually saw a tiny bit when I had the Funimation channel for, like, half a year, I think. Maybe it was 8 months of the Tetsuan Birdie. Birdie the Mighty.
I like the original. But,
yeah.
I saw the original. I haven't seen Decode yet.
I think I saw like an episode or so. Let's see. I haven't seen
I saw about half of Valkyria Chronicles, and as far as game to anime adaptations go, that one's pretty good.
A lot of people are probably familiar with Fairy Tail. It's really one of these long-running big titles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised Fairy Tail isn't on like Adult Swim at this point.
I mean, with as much as people stare at Lucy's Gazangas, which, to be fair, they are very nice, but that was probably the first instance, though, of A1 Pictures I was ever really kind of clued into.
You never saw Crazy Shrine Maidens?
No.
No? I thought you saw that one. All right. The next one that I was exposed to from them was Sound of the Sky, or Sora no Woro.
That one I saw part of.
Okay, that is basically
K-On! Goes to War.
Yeah, K-On! Goes to War, or K-On! In the Military. That show.
That's not even a joke either.
I don't know why that show
there's a bit of a backstory, but it's basically K-On! Goes to War.
I don't know why that show didn't
get your war bonds.
I don't know why that show didn't hit. Maybe it was just because right before the military moe boom.
Yeah, if it had hit in 2012, 2013,
yeah,
it would have taken off, because that was after Apate, after Apate, after Girls and Ponds, or after C3 Boo, because like we're still heavily in the thick of the Moly military thing. So if it had came out today, even it probably would have gotten taken off a bit more.
I mean, to be fair, Strike Witches was out, but I think that wasn't really part of the modern.
No, it didn't like. It was early, but it didn't like precipitate that Moe military boom that we saw. That was mostly Panzer's work.
Yeah, and also now that we have like Khan Koli and.
I mean, honestly, he wasn't really wrong. We are living in the post-Apate world.
Ah ha ha.
That's not what they were referring to.
I'm positive it was not what they were referring to, but I mean, it's not wrong. Not 100% right either, but it's not wrong at least.
And the next one that I was exposed to, oddly enough, around the time this show premiered, that's around when I met K-Gods, and that show is working.
Mm-hmm. You might be more familiar with it as Wagnaria.
Yes,
yep.
Yes. I will say, like, I mean, the first season was good, don't get me wrong, but the strongest was definitely the second season. But I enjoyed it in the first season, mind you, just as premise alone.
Mm.
Right.
I have not seen Black Butler, but I've heard of it.
I've seen a little bit of Black Butler.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't
okay.
that one of those like really big with Fujoshi?
Yes.
Huge with Fujoshi.
Yeah, and though it's not about Forrest Whitaker.
And I have not.
Hopefully somebody got that.
I have not seen this, but we certainly know of it because one, it's a co-production ordered again, so
Yep.
you know what that means.
Save an anime.
Yeah, with Fractal.
Yeah, Fractal. Yeah, that one kind of came
I
and
noticed
went,
how
didn't
like
it?
nobody mentions Fractal.
No, it doesn't.
Like nobody ever mentions Fractal except to make fun of it.
Seems like it.
I bet I could find it for under $20 here.
I
Yeah,
found
probably.
Redline for under $20, so I mean.
Yeah, but then again, you could probably find that also for under $5 if you look hard enough.
Yeah,
So,
and
like,
that's a
any
movie. We're
show
talking
that
about.
is supposed to save anime, you can probably find for under $20.
Yeah, I'm gonna look right now on Amazon for Fractal. I'm doing this in real time.
Real time.
All
It's in
right.
real time, folks. While he's doing that, I guess this one's one that kind of made a big splash. Anohana.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
that's
what I
another
saw.
real big one. I never actually saw it, but a lot of people talk about it.
I know some of
Fractal.
my buddies really liked it.
Okay, it's $49.99, but it's only one left, so maybe.
There's nobody fucking buying that.
Mm. Okay, so what is it? Yeah, I saw Anohana also, and that's one that even though I saw the whole thing, I wasn't as into because I think the premise took itself too seriously. Even though I know it was about like this girl, and then you wanted to find out how she Ghost Girl, which by premise alone, you know, I on board with that. But then it took itself, I think, too seriously, and it got all like melodramatic and whiny, and I don't know. I was surprised to me that it became this big a hit. Hmm.
I don't know. I've never seen it, so I don't know why. But all I know is that it's big for a lot of people, and it's like for a lot of people, that's like feels the animated series to them.
Yeah, like I said, two of my buddies really liked that show.
Yeah. Okay, moving along. The original Idolmaster TV series.
Yeah.
And I've seen that. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's probably one of their best.
Yeah.
As far as I've seen, I would agree with that.
I enjoyed it a lot. I really like again the content-wise. That's not something I really had seen myself really getting into. But when I actually did watch it, I was able to appreciate like how they integrated all this like choreography and you know how it was just excuses to show off a bunch of songs, but
naturally.
But
I said, it's an advertisement for the source material.
Right. But it's kind of cool in that regard.
And here's the thing: in the beginning, Chihaya was like my least favorite, but once you watch that show, when you find out why she's the way she is, she became like my favorite.
To a certain extent, she's still kind of like Ray from Red Operation for me, which we'll be talking about later. But it's like where she kind of, whenever she's on screen doing her thing, where her thing is being sad, she kind of sucks the fun out of the show for me. But I mean, that's just because I mean, like it just seems like everyone else is having so much fun, and then it's like, what are you doing?
It's like the advertisement for Xanax.
Or Abilify.
That's like my only thing with Idolmaster. Otherwise, it's great.
Or Abilify with the little bouncy thing that they used to show that looked like the Digimon. You ever see that commercial? Okay, let's see. I've not seen Space Brothers, but I've heard of it.
I've heard of it. I feel like that was a show when it's like a lot of people were talking about it for a while, and then nobody was talking about it at all.
And
That
then,
show ran for a while.
oh yeah, that was like a 50 episode. No, even more. I think that was like 100 something. Uh, Sword Art Online.
I guess we got to talk about it to an extent.
I only saw a tiny bit. I only saw like an episode. When it was on. But other than that, I never really watched it. I know of it.
I knew what it was going to be, and avoided that on that premise because I've said before, I'm so done with the kind of show where it's like, oh, okay, we're playing this video game, and now we're trapped in it. Because we can't create a sense of urgency by actually having a sense of urgency while playing this video game. So we have to introduce a fake contrivance in order to bring about that sense of urgency.
Yeah.
And then they do the whole thing with the cousin and whatnot, which I didn't care about, but I mean.
But like the amount of like outrage over this was completely unproportional.
Why aren't you outraged about this when it premiered on Adult Swim?
But like people are
It's
pissed about
like
it.
because I'm not even interested in the show to begin with.
It's like, dog. Number one, I don't care. Number two, why do you care? Number three, it's fucking Sword Art Online. Like we've all agreed that this isn't like the pinnacle of animated entertainment, right? Let's not treat it like it's supposed to be. Let's treat it like it's, a mid-level show that became popular, just like Naruto, just like Bleach, just like One Piece, just like Dragon Ball. It's a mid-level show that got really popular inexplicably. Let's treat it like that instead of treating it like it's supposed to be some kind of big thing. It's not. It's Sword Art Online. It baffles me that so many people are actively angry about Sword Art Online.
Yeah, it just strikes me as wow, the outrage for this show.
This makes anime look bad.
So yeah, it's like number one, that ship sailed when Urotsukidoji made it over here.
We everybody was screwed from
the damage was done at that point. But number two is like, what are you doing? You're earnestly complaining about Sword Art Online? Really?
Okay, moving on. I've not seen this, but I will tell you that there is a ton of fan art and doujinshi for this Gyro Zeta. That is a show that was released that was kind of like the throwback to like the, like the way the robot shows were done where there would be a toy line concurrent with the anime.
Oh yeah.
Well, same thing that kind of happens when they try to do that stuff today, unless it's like a particular established name like Gundam or Transformers. Toys don't sell, but if there's any attractive characters, you're going to see doujinshi. And there was quite a bit for the teacher character. Moving along, I have not seen Magi, but I know of it.
I actually have seen a couple episodes. What I've seen was enjoyable, but it's not something I'm going to commit to memory. Like it didn't resonate with me on the level of some of the other shows that A1 Pictures did, but it was good. I'm not going to say it's bad.
Alright, moving on. Ore no Kanojo to Osa na Najima ga Shiraba Sugiru, or...
So all it's going to do is piss me off.
Fuck and piss! Or, here's what it translates as. My girlfriend and my childhood friend fight too much. That is a show that I didn't watch when it was airing. I watched the year after, in 2014, and I actually really enjoyed that. It's a really cute show. It's a little bit like Chunibyo meets I know this is gonna piss you off, but I guess I should say it's like Chunibyo meets Nisekoi,
It's not watching it then. Peace. Fading out.
or maybe just uh. Well, the main girl's kind. She even says, "I'm the biggest bitch in the world."
Okay.
But you'll have yourself a new target.
But if she's gonna,
He's bringing out his inner Ice Cube.
where where she's gonna portray herself as a bitch actively, that's a level above. Like we already got like Chitoge and Sugumi right here. That's a level above. I'm not touching that.
You sounded way too excited.
Send your Chitoge figures to Anubis at She's Lost Control.
I mean, hey, I'm gonna be getting some heavier airsoft BBs soon. I could use a target.
Send your Methis high-grade UC model kits to She's Lost Control.
Myself a nice scope.
Okay, this next is something we all watched when it aired.
Yep.
Vivid Butts.
Yeah.
Vivid Butts Operation.
Mayonnaise Butts.
Yes.
Mayonnaise Butts Operation.
The mayo thing. I don't know. That so many jokes came from that.
Yeah,
I need to rewatch it.
Just one of those weird quirks that anime characters always have.
Yeah. I don't think it was as strong as Strike Witches.
Not nearly as strong as Strike Witches.
No.
I don't know where the comparisons to Strike Witches came from.
It wasn't
Understand it was the same director, I think.
Yeah, it was the same director. That's it.
Same director, but I mean, it's far from the same kind of show.
Light years ahead of Sky Girls, though.
I'm gonna just put this assumption out there. If a show is good, it's already light years ahead of Sky Girls.
Even if it's not good, it's probably better than that. Like, put it this way, I would rather watch Divergence Eve.
Well, okay, if I had an issue with Vivid Red Operation, it's this, and I think you'll agree with me. If not, then it tried to do too much in a short amount of time.
100%.
If
it was a 26-episode show, it would have worked perfectly.
Yeah, if it was 26 episodes, or it should have been 2 seasons, or drop the combination act. Because I felt that was kind of too much. It's like you already got them transforming. That's one level.
Well, I mean, I think the combination act worked well, but they didn't have enough time to do stuff. But like every show, they introduced a new thing, and what you got to do with this kind of show is you introduce a new thing, and that works for a couple episodes. Then you encounter the enemy against which that doesn't work, and then you have to come up with something new, and then they do that against the enemies, and then you have to slowly build up your repertoire of abilities. And what Vivid Red did was, okay, in this episode they're gonna combine into Vivid Blue, and then the next episode it's straight into Vivid Green. And I'm like, wait a second, we barely got to know Vivid Blue.
Yeah. I love how what was the main girl's name? Akane.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way we have to combine by kissing. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just so.
Well, all you gotta know about Vivid Red or Vivid Butts and why it has that nickname is the very first scene from it.
Oh yeah,
is the sun glistening off of an ass.
The show knows what it's doing.
A 14-year-old ass.
But I mean, the other criticism I have with it is the same criticism I have with Chihaya in Idolmaster. Rei just sucks the fun out of whatever scene she's in. Like, you'll see all these characters and they're having fun and they're happy and whatnot, and then Rei comes along and she just does this brooding shit.
Did you finish all the original Idolmaster?
Almost.
Okay.
But that's my thing.
Did you at least get to Chihiya's episode?
I'm not exactly sure. It's been a while.
All right.
But what I'm saying with Ray is that she just comes up and sucks the fun out of any scene she's in.
To a certain extent,
to be fair to Chihaya, Chihaya didn't do that in every scene she's in. But whenever I saw Ray in a Vivid Red Operation, I was just dreading watching more of that scene because I knew she's gonna come up and do some shit that's gonna just drop the happiness level of the episode completely down the gutter.
But Chihaya has an excuse, and once you watch past, you'll know what.
And that's another thing with Vid Red Operation and its length. I feel like if they could have fleshed out Ray's excuse more, because I get why she's sad and I get why she's working against the other characters, but at the same time, you get that for like half of an episode maybe, and then you're expected to care about this character.
What the fuck was that?
And then it's like, it continues to suck the fun out of the show. That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna say, as opposed to Ray from Evangelion, who sucks the fun out of every scene she's in, but for a totally different reason.
Yeah. And time to make Anubis super angry because we have the second season of Orimo.
I don't see what makes me angry about the second season of Orimo.
Morayase.
Well, I mean, certainly, but she was in the first season. She pissed me off then too. So it's just the character. We're not talking about Nisekoi here, where the whole show just pisses me off. We're talking about Orimo, where is one character, and she gets shut down like she should be.
I was gonna say, and it's not like he's banging her or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I felt like, with the exception of the last couple episodes, it wasn't as strong as the first season.
Well, I mean, yeah, and of course the faux outrage at the end of it was just cringe-inducing.
Well, I coined a term from that, pulling an Orimo.
To which I say it didn't pull anything. If you look at the title of the show, it's quite obvious what's about to happen. So if you're surprised at the ending of Orimo, maybe you're dumb. I don't know.
Well, no. The thing is these same people were ranting and raving, just fuck already. Yeah. And then when they do, it's just like, oh no.
Oh,
I don't like that.
Oh, hell no.
There is definitely a shift in focus between the first and second seasons of Orimo. So I feel like the second season of Orimo was focused more on the characters, whereas the first season had more of a focus on like the hobby.
See, that's the part I loved in the original Orimo, was just her, being all excited about otaku stuff.
I think that the second season did what it did strongly, but I'm with you on that. I liked the focus of the first season better.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Plus, I don't know. The second season had some oddball elements to it that really felt kind of forced to me.
Also, I didn't like how they made I forgot her name, the childhood friend character, into a bitch.
A total twat waffle. Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot her name, but you know what I mean. The glasses.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
She was kind of a boring character to me anyway, so she didn't really matter to me, at least.
Moving along, Servant Service, which I watched because
I saw a bit of that one.
That was from the same manga as Working.
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest, not as strong of a series as Working. It was kind of boring in a few areas. I loved Lucy though. Lucy was a great character. Um, and I like the premise, just take working but have it in in an office.
Yeah, exactly.
So on that it works. I don't know. I just think the humor wasn't as strong. Moving along, Gallier Donna. I saw an episode of that. I didn't care for that.
The only thing I know about Galilei Donna is that its opening song was mashed up with a song by D'Angelo that I really like, and that's it.
Moving along. This is a show that I tried really hard to get into. I watched a bunch of episodes. I tried so hard to get into. I couldn't get into it, and I wanted to like it. World Conquest Zvezda plot.
That's the Dakimakura already.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
And the lowly dress, like... I tried so hard. I wanted to like that show so much. Great opening, though. Excellent opening. I hate saying this, but maybe it was too weird for its own good. I wanted to almost be like Milky Holmes, so stupid that it becomes hilarious. And it just, I don't know, it couldn't live up to that. Maybe one day I'll give it another shot, but I don't know. Let's see, more Sword Art Online.
I'll tell you what, though.
What?
At some point, I'm gonna have to check out Nana Na's Buried Treasure, for one reason.
Why?
Trap Maid.
Let me see what that looks like, because I've heard of that. Nana Na's Buried Treasure. I'm trying to remember which one.
I kind of remember what I read about the premise, but at the same time, not. The biggest thing I remember about that show is Trap Maid.
Oh, that's the one with shit.
So it has shit. Anime is getting a little bit more daring.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see the trap that you're talking about. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I was thinking of another show with a trap, but yeah, I see what you're talking about. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. I tried to watch this because it's from the same light novel author as Orishiro. Saikano, How to Raise a Boy and Girlfriend. It was boring.
I guess it accomplished its goal.
How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend.
I don't know. That's the one I want to check out just because it kind of looks interesting.
But you know what wasn't boring? In fact, it was my favorite. It was my top show last year, and there were a lot of great shows last year. But you know me, Idolmaster Cinderella Girls.
Excellent.
Yes. I'm gonna eventually get to it. I know.
I will say that if you want to compare it to the original to that, I'm gonna have to be like serious, and that probably the original one is probably just a little bit better because Cinderella Girls kind of felt like because like they had the template for the original one, which was the games. This one, they only had, the online games. And a lot of some characters were already established, but others not as. So they had to kind of... that's why there was that one season where it just took a break and then went with the second half. Because... Because here's the thing with A1 Pictures, they do great work, but it clearly their shows clearly suffer. It's kind of like Shaft, where if they take too much, their shows suffer.
Right.
That was a period when Shaft had like 3 shows in one season or something like that, and it was like
just stretching themselves.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing where the more they take on, the more that their works suffer. Actually, I forgot to mention because it's not. Well, maybe it's. No, oh no, you know what it? No, wait, is it? Oh, actually, we'll get into that when we talk about film productions. That's right. Okay. So I was going to mention the Idolmaster movie, but they do have film. All right. Let's see. Nanaha Vivid. The only Nanaha I'm gonna go with is the movies, which hasn't been done by. That's a different studio. So
Yeah.
skip. Gunslinger Stratos. I haven't seen that, but it's just the name because it literally is Gunslinger Girls and Infinite Stratos.
Yeah, like when I saw that in the anime chart, I'm like, they're coming out with a new Gunslinger Girl, and I was immediately disappointed when I actually read the title.
Let's see. Gate, which is another. Gate was one of those controversy shows.
Well, yeah, because like the entire premise of the show is it's supposed to be an allegory to the Iraq War.
Mm-hmm.
I thought wasn't it supposed to be like Japan is great? One of those shows.
I mean that too, but for mostly it's that entire thing where okay, we came in here, effed up this country, and now what do we need to do to rebuild after we effed up this nation that we just invaded?
Yeah, that's like those whenever there's a show like that,
Ask our government.
Iraq War allegory.
People use the word jingoistic.
That's one of those words that I hate.
Yeah.
Because it's only ever used to describe to attribute a negative connotation to something where a more neutral word could just as easily be substituted.
Right.
Nationalistic. Perfectly fine word. Let's cut the bullshit and say, yeah, okay, it's nationalistic, whatever that means to you. Instead of trying to shape people's perceptions by using dumb words.
Moving along, we got the third season of Working. Came years after.
3 exclamation points.
Yeah, years after. Well, the first one had 2 exclamation points. The second one had an apostrophe and 2 exclamation points. And then
I can't stand when they do that. How do you pronounce that? Working apostrophe. It's like when Prince changed his name. I can't pronounce that, Prince. I'm sorry.
Well, one thing that's always gotten under my skin, and I think you'll know what I mean, is when they alternate between exclamation point or an exclamation point and a question mark.
Oh, you know what pisses me off? When people put multiple question marks at the end of their sentence.
As if it's going to be.
You can't make it more of a question.
I know why they do it. They do it to basically infer that there's a strong inflection.
Well, yeah.
But it's still annoying as hell.
It's dumb. There's no reason to put more question marks at the end. I can understand more exclamation points. That's fine. You can't make what you're saying more of a question.
No,
okay.
and of course the other horribly used thing, the interrobang.
I'm actually fine with the interrobang.
All right, moving along.
Though.
All right, moving along. More Cinderella Girls. Moving along. I did not watch this, but I know you did. It's listed as Boku da Ge, but it's erased.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Great. People are talking shit about the ending, but you know what?
Is it something I would like, or it's really just not for me?
Nah, I doubt it.
I
don't know. I'd say give it an earnest try. You're probably not gonna like it, but it was so good for me, but that I'm saying give it a try because you might just like it.
Okay, moving along. We got some to be determined stuff. Another season of Saikano, How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend Flat. I love that. Just girlfriend flat.
Don't forget they have Ace Attorney.
Ace, yeah.
I'm
hearing that's garbage.
Yeah, no kidding.
Gee, I never would have guessed.
Arrow Manga Sensei, which is from
That one I'm pumped about.
Yeah, that's from
I've
the
read
same.
a tiny bit of the light novel, and it's great so far, and so I'm pumped about that. Let's go.
Same author as Imo.
Yep.
Can't wait to hear them read to that.
So they'll probably be incest or something in there. Pester somebody.
Yeah, and this is the spin-off to Working that I told you about that started off as an April Fool's joke, and then they announced this on this year's April Fools.
www.working.
Yeah.
Just we're not trying to direct you to go to a website. In fact, in all honesty, I would never just put in something into your browser like that, because most of the time you get taken to a place full of adware and shit.
But I mean, that's not even a proper website. I mean, there's
Yeah,
no top level domain. Unless it's one of those
no
really dumb top level domains that's like .ninja, which is a joke. That's an actual top level domain, and I'm kind of upset about that because that's kind of dumb.
Well, is there a .pirate?
I wouldn't actually be surprised about that. Also, from the IRC, Cubit III, to answer your question about working exclamation point apostrophe. The apostrophe is supposed to be prime, apparently.
Yeah, I don't think that makes Anubis any happier.
So
it's like Yar's Revenge. How's anyone supposed to know that?
So wait, Working Prime?
Apparently, it's working prime. How I'm supposed to figure that out? It's a good question. It's exactly like Yar's Revenge, where I don't know how anyone ever figured that out, but apparently people figured that out, and that information has to be disseminated to people instead of people just picking that up intuitively, because they decided, you know what, instead of doing something that makes sense, we're gonna put a dumbass punctuation mark that can't be pronounced at the end of our title to the anime, because this dude in America named Time Enforcer Anubis is gonna get really angry at us and it's gonna make us laugh.
Don't give them any ideas. They'll start using umlauts.
I like how Anne Happy has Anne Happy and a musical note.
The musical note pisses me off too.
You gotta sing it. Anne Happy.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Or them sticking a star or a heart in the middle of it.
Yeah, like Monica has the star.
See, what I'm fine with is the X, because I know what to do with the X. You just don't pronounce it.
Yeah, like Servant Service, Hunter.
Holic.
Holic. XXX Holic.
Yeah, it's just like, this sounds kind of pervy here.
Except, to a certain extent, that's the same thing, because I constantly have to correct people about Holic. It's just Holic. Don't ask me how I know that. It's just Holic.
When I make an anime,
first name Alco.
So if I were to ever have my own anime, I'm just gonna have a bunch of Lucky Charm titles: Heart, Clover, Diamond, and just like, how the fuck do you pronounce this? And then I'll make it like some sort of weird. How am I supposed to figure that out?
What you need to do is
do
that,
in Greek.
But write one of those long ass light novel anime titles in Wingdings. That will piss me off. No stop.
Fucking Wingdings.
Ridiculous.
Let's
move on to films.
So Avon Pictures has made some films over the years. Starting with Welcome to Space Show.
Adaptations of their previously released anime works.
Don't ever watch Welcome to Space Show.
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, it's basically was supposed to be a children's movie that was like clocking 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It's very boring. The main girl was kind of cute, but that was it. Don't watch that movie. Moving along.
Don't watch Watch that movie. Yeah, there you go. There's the fairy tale movies.
Yes.
If you wish to look at the well-endowed characters running around.
I'm gonna be real with you. I can't get into the character designs of Fairy Tail at all.
Interesting.
There was a Anohana, but that was a compilation film from
Which
perspective.
I'll go on record and say I'm not a fan of those in general.
It depends. It really depends.
I think it's like the difference between the 3 Gundam compilation movies and the ones for Zeta. If your show is such that you can actually take some stuff out and it'll work, then compilation movie is fine, because you just have a lot of superfluous content in your show that you can just break down and bring to that level.
You can't cheat
Actually,
away
stuff
with data.
happening in your show every episode, then you can't just take it out, because then you're missing parts of your actual show.
Yeah, you can't cheat your way in Zeta Gundam. Right, Zach Birchie?
Call people out.
Yeah. In any case, actually Gundam's pretty notorious for that. Almost everything has like some kind of compilation movie or set. Even Seed did.
That's something I saw was the Idolmaster movie. And I actually recently rewatched that not too long ago. I'm going to be honest, as an Idolmaster fan, that movie, it's decent, it's good, it's not great.
There
Is
you,
my
there you go.
It's good, it's not great. And the one girl who, because they have Million Live characters, which it's not listed here, but Million Live is going to essentially get an anime. We kind of figured that out. If not, if they haven't announced it, they will.
Right.
Anytime. Probably for the fall season. I can't imagine any earlier. But the main girl that they had there for the Million Life cast really just boiled down to first world problems. That's all I can think about it. When I'm not good enough, when I overate and now I'm chubby, when.
Is this like a Tumblr?
When Kaneko should show you how to be both an idol and chubby.
Yeah, exactly. Kaneko don't give a fuck.
In any case, obviously, my knowledge of A1 Studios is kind of limited.
To be fair, there's a lot here I haven't watched.
Oh, of course.
So, and I probably watched the most out of all of us. But it is a pretty significant studio that there's at least something to appeal to us. And that's how I feel about them in general, is they make either exactly the thing that I want to see, or they make something and I have like no interest in it. And there's very little of, I watched this thing and I thought it would appeal to me, but then it doesn't. Most of the stuff is either exactly like laser pinpoint, or I have no interest in this at all.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the same thing happens to me though with some other studios as well.
Yeah.
Zebek tends to be like that, at least for me.
We need another like hyper fan service show from Zebek.
Yeah, we needed another Ladies versus Butlers kind of show.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Feels got you covered. Feels got you covered.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Feels like the studio that does that now.
I mean, pretty much.
Seems like it. I mean, anytime I see their name attached to something, I'm like, oh, okay, I have an idea what this is going into.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not feeling for
And I was gonna make the joke, but apparently you are.
yeah, I didn't, you know, not feel different feels. Feel for Shaft's next thing that they're gonna do. I forgot the name, but it's from the same mangaka as the one that did. You ever hear something called Honey and Clover?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, it's from the same author as that. And I looked at like the main image, and I don't know. I'll watch it. I'll give the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know if it's something that will, because Shaft makes most of the stuff I like. Shaft generally makes pretty much what we like.
Yeah,
So
I'm not even sure like what I've really really liked out of Shaft, other than Monogatari recently.
Well,
So it might be that they're just not making a whole lot for at least me at the time.
watch Happy Cooking Graffiti. You'll thank me.
That and Happy Cooking Graffiti. I did watch a bit of that.
Okay.
right. Well, I mean, it doesn't seem like they're quite as prolific as some others. Obviously, they're not pumping them out quite like JC Staff does.
I think nobody will ever beat
thankful for
JC
that.
Staff. Nobody will ever. I swear, I have to know how that studio stays afloat.
They lose somebody every month.
It's that index
Quantity
money.
over quality.
It's
They
that,
lose some. Yeah, I mean that, I mean they die from overwork.
It's that index. Well, actually, speaking of overwork and dying, that's actually what happened with someone that was working on Kanagi Crazy Shrine Maintenance.
Oh yeah, I think I heard about that.
He got overworked.
Yep.
Then after he stopped working there or something, shortly after he killed himself.
Ouch. Was it in the forest?
I know exactly which forest you're talking about.
Yeah. Everyone's favorite suicide forest. That's kind of a unique thing too, because imagine you were just in the park or whatever, or on a mountain trail or whatever, and you saw a sign like that.
Suicide.
Do not kill yourself here.
Oh yeah.
It's
The entire.
It's not even telling you not to do it. It's telling you not to do it there.
It's like the whole thing surrounding that forest is just weird. Like the entire everything about that is just creepy.
Well,
really
right.
creepy.
I think it was in the top 5 creepiest spots in the world or something.
Yeah, it's they gotta send people in there
to
to one, make sure that
scavenger.
people aren't, to one, make sure that people that there's no people in there planning to kill themselves, and two,
looking for bodies.
looking for bodies of people who already have.
Just sweeping the area,
It's just skeletons out there with clothing on them. It's okay.
And what's weird about that is you could almost see people with morbid senses of humor getting into that. They'd find the skeleton and give him a thumbs up or something fucked up like that. I mean, you could totally see that.
I feel like if anyone's gonna do that, it's probably some tourist. I feel like the Japanese culture is just the number of people who are into doing that is gonna be real low in the Japanese culture. I just feel like that's the case.
Yeah, that is, I guess, more of a type of a Western sense of humor or something, if you want to call it that.
I know. Vice is Vice, and they're kind of shitty now. But to give them credit, they did a great documentary about that.
I wouldn't call it great, but that is where I first heard about that forest.
I've heard of it before, mainly because I know that's where the OVA Zeremeyer takes place.
Oh, okay.
It's in that forest. That's where they keep the robot. So.
What is it? Feed on human lives?
It's
I
kind
also
of
want to be
a bad place to
surprised.
put a giant robot.
I also wouldn't be surprised if the forest in Guyver is the same one.
Forest.
Yeah. It's just I wouldn't be surprised because it looks like that.
Hmm. Right. Well, I mean, it is kind of a unique. I hesitate to call it a landmark, but
It's just you don't hear about that kind of place anywhere else.
no. For those who are interested, it's Aokigahara.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Aokigahara Forest.
Yep. Very infamous. I mean, and yeah, I've seen pictures from it and just like people kind of
I see
investigating.
What about-
Investigating.
I've seen bodies in was it in midst of being like decomposed,
Oh yeah.
like a green. I saw a skeleton that was like just green, a skull that was.
Even like the forest itself looks creepy.
Oh yeah, it's like this crazy thick. You know, it's like once you go in, it's hard to come out.
Yeah.
It's weird that you bring that up when you mention like a green like skeleton, because me and my cousin actually found a skull one time like that. Like just like it's hard to explain where we found this at, but it was basically near an underpass. It was just kind of like amongst the leaves and stuff. And it was just a detached skull. It was kind of messed up. I mean, my cousin, of course, being the weirdo he is, was like playing baseball with it and shit. I'm not even kidding. He had this old aluminum bat, and he threw it up in the air, and he just like corked it into a neighbor's yard. What the fuck is wrong with him?
It's like I won't even touch. It's like
he's just like heads up.
It's like I wouldn't want my body near that. It's like
I don't know, but that was the weird. Not to go on too much of a tangent, but he was like that though.
On a tangent.
Yeah, I mean the kind of shit, like the kind of pranks and fucked up things he would pull.
Is this the one with that special piercing?
No.
Oh, alright, it's a different cousin then.
Yeah. Not only that, but that's one of those things that I don't ever want to find out firsthand about.
Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
But
that's about it for the third segment.
Yeah.
Let's just say he one of the things he did was loaded up a like a super soaker type, or no, it wasn't a super soaker, it was a paintball gun. And he loaded it up with actual car paint. It was like sitting there like in a tree house, just actually pelting fucking vehicles going by. He was a deranged motherfucker. Like if
that
you know anything
so
about
hard.
car paint, if you know anything about car paint, that shit ain't coming off.
Oh yeah, that's gonna stay there.
So it would fire off.
Did he
just
ever
like
get in trouble for
paintball.
that?
If he did, for that specifically, probably not. But
Cause holy shit, I imagine like just it's like.
But he's also the type who had like these slingshots they created that he would like, just like big fucking trucks that'd be going over.
Where are his parents?
They were probably laughing at him doing it. Quite frankly. But no, like just a lot of weird stuff like that. I remember he again tangent. But he did a lot of weird stuff like that. I mean, he made he had this scooter that he kind of made, this makeshift scooter, and he used a weed eater motor. Like, the thing did not go fast enough to be worth it. You could outrun it. I mean, you could run faster than this thing could go. So it was kind of pointless. I don't know. I think he just liked messing with it.
In any case, that's it for the third segment. Virtua Fighter 2 music. This is Black Cat Moon. Keep it right here on NTR Radio.
We should have mentioned our favorite A1 Pictures show, but that's okay.
Oh well. Nah, he did some really weird shit. Like
Answer to that is Idolmaster.
Yeah, basically. Well,
he used to he did the thing where you burn leaves in your backyard. Because he had a pretty big backyard and he had this like fire pit.
He told me to burn things.
Well, it's interesting in the sense that he threw a paint can in there one time. like in this case.
Deathwish.
Well, the thing is in this case it was an accident. Because it was just trying to get rid of it and threw it into the thing and it just caught and just kind of like did the pyrotechnic thing where it shoots up into the air like. I swear it almost burnt the neighbor's tree that like kind of leans over the property line. Good times.
all right, we do have mail.
Speaking of which, since I'm talking about him, he was working on just working on one of his like 10 speeds or something like that. And I remember he slammed this adjustable wrench down. And it bounced up and hit me right in the forehead. It hurt like a motherfucker. Again, he was just mad and like slammed it on the ground. It did the thing where it just goes dunk.
How old is he?
Same age as I am.
Does he still do this shit?
No.
Alright.
No, I think he'd be in jail if he did. Because I think he would probably be doing worse stuff than any of this.
Curl the cock.
It's good that we mentioned our email because that's what the email is about.
Interesting. Too bad it's not about Subway, right?
Oh, by the way, the other day I saw a thread on 4chan about ANN. Wait.
The other day I saw a thread on 4chan, never ends well.
Wait, and someone posted the thing when I think it was Justin Savakis was talking about like and then you responded to him about Girls in Panzer, and then the thing
the Answer Man thing.
Yeah, Girls in Panzer contains Zero's panty shots.
Because I'm looking at this Answer Man question like, okay, obviously this person never actually watched the show.
Yeah.
It's number one. If you're gonna call Girls in Panzer panty shot anime, that's an incorrect assessment. It's number one. Number two is like, so I'm sitting there like, is anyone else gonna tell him? No. Fuck, I guess I have to do it. Yeah, it's like, wasn't it like the director who specifically said no panty shots? And like, didn't one of the artists try to sneak one in and got reprimanded for that?
Something like that. I seem to remember you even mentioning this at one point. Remember the one guy talking about how Akiyuki Shimbo is misanthropic. That was it. It was just like and nothing he said in his statement whatsoever hinted at that at all.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think that means what you think it means. Actually, I think you outright said that.
Yeah,
I think you.
I don't even remember what I said, but
I think you actually said it directly to him too. It was like just like this, like like when you'd stick like an symbol, to hey, in the midst of a big conversation.
Anyway, ready on third segment.
Yes.
Yeah, for the most part.
In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to NTR Radio. We have mail.
Incoming message.
This one's coming in from Cube the Third, subject line Ori Emo Best Girls. Hey guys.
Oh boy.
So recently I've been rewatching Ori Emo with a friend of mine, and I was wondering who are your best girls from Ori Emo. Mine is Kuroneko, Saori, Kirino, and Kaneko in that order. Speaking of Ori Emo, we might, emphasis on might, do a show on Ori Emo soon with this friend of mine, and I would like to extend an open invitation to you guys to be on that episode. That's all for now. New episode this Tuesday. So
Okay.
best girls, go.
This is going to be completely stock and stupid, but amongst the girls of Ori Emo, I guess I do have to give it to Kirino.
Ditto.
She's got a god-tier butt. I mean, come on.
I'm still on Team Kuroneko.
She's got a nice round apple butt.
I also liked that Fujoshi.
Senna?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm on board with Senna.
Also, who's the one with that dressed like the magical girl but was actually a bitch?
That was
Oh yeah.
yeah, that was
what was her
Kaneko,
name
I
anyway?
think. That was Kaneko. Yeah.
Yeah, she was funny.
I didn't like her.
Anubis has a thing with bitches.
I liked in the first season, but not so much the second. The neighbor girl.
The childhood friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, glasses
Manami.
girl.
Manami is her name.
Yeah, Minami.
Yeah, could not think of her name for nothing, so I'm glad you said that.
The hierarchy for me goes as follows: Kuroneko, Saori, Kirino, then Senna, and everyone else can fuck off.
Especially Ayase. I mean, come on, have you seen his video of him shooting the target? I love how you just have this really pissed off look when you're loading your weapon, when you're loading your ammo. You're just like, just this like kind of scowling kind of.
But yeah, that's the hierarchy for me.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't know. The interaction of some of those characters kind of made them, I guess, more interesting. In the sense that, like, if they were in another scenario.
Yeah, I and like part of what I really liked about the first series as opposed to the second series was like you got that interaction between Kirino and Kuroneko. Like Kuroneko is the anti-Moi brigade.
Those battling things are hilarious.
Yeah,
it's like my masturbation material's better than yours. That's got to be up there in terms of like the wait what? I distinctly remember that. It's funny because those arguments happening in amongst the forums, and how it was to see the parallels.
Yeah, it really paralleled the debate happening between the Western fan base at that very moment.
Oh yeah, for sure. And of course, then there's some really weird stuff that came out of there, like weird threats and stuff. People writing these messed up letters and shit. Just like, whoa. There's no reason to be like writing threatening letters to the writers. I'll never understand that.
Right.
I know. Maybe that's just a cultural difference or something there, but I don't get it.
Anyway, so here's a topic I wanted to bring up in the third segment here. I was working on one of the articles for this upcoming Yeah in the magazine. Is the third part, the big conclusion to the Truth About Otaku series.
Mm.
And I like the whole thing just made me mad because I'm looking at all this stuff and I'm realizing, there's a fast growing body of research suggesting that both academic and amateur suggesting that otaku are nothing like they're portrayed by like people high up in the Western fan base.
Mm.
And basically a whole lot of people are being straight up lied to, and nobody seems to be
Correcting it.
Nobody seems to be correcting it, and nobody seems to be addressing that this is even a problem.
That's because it's narrative pushing.
Yeah, it's like it. I'm looking at this and I went back and listened to part of an episode from ANN Cast, and they were just all these stereotypical things. Otaku, they're afraid of real women, and that's why they go and gravitate towards moe, and that's why they go with the hug pillows and all that. And it's like, all right, number one, what are you doing what are you saying to back? What are you bringing to the table to back that up? And number two, are you just reciting what you've heard about otaku? I say this because I don't think it's unreasonable to expect people who are trying to have that kind of conversation about this demographic of people to have exposed themselves to research that isn't that isn't database animals.
Yeah, I mean, I think another problem with that is it completely ignores women for the most part.
Dog.
I mean,
90% of the attendance to the first Comiket was women.
Yeah,
you're not going to hear that from any of these people, because for these people it's otaku. They're all fat, socially awkward, overweight. Already said that.
Hygiene deficient. Right wing. Autistic.
Men.
Also autistic.
You never hear about the women. You never hear about people like Danny Chu, who's doing the business and shit. You never hear about Aso Taro, who was the Prime Minister of Japan, and part of his platform he was running on was that I'm an otaku, and I think that propagating Japanese media to other countries is important in order to build bridges with those nations. You never hear about him, but all and even
you bring up Miyazaki though.
But yeah, you bring up Miyazaki, you bring up that otaku is apparently this huge insult in Japan, when really it's not. There's no evidence to back that up in a modern paradigm. If you go back to 1991, maybe that was the case, because the Tsutomu Miyazaki case was still fresh in everyone's minds. But it's 2016. Let's evolve a paradigm here and expose ourselves to some other research that has been published since. We did the whole thing on the Moe Manifesto. Let's get these people to read that, and then try and push that same narrative.
Well, actually, I did come across that, and their response to it was basically the only people who will like this thing are basically the people who agree with it, which of course was funny coming from them.
Well, yeah, it's the.
Oh yeah, they had to close that thread. They had to close that thread for the about the review for that book.
And yeah, and if you look at the discussion happening in the review for that book, the discuss at a certain point it stopped being about the book and it started being about why are these otaku gravitating toward 2D relationships, which was such a tiny portion of what that book was talking about. There were so many other thoughts being espoused in that book that could have been focused on, but no, the focus got to be on why are they shying away from real relationships. And even when people come up with some well, okay, let's examine that. No, it's just dismissed as unhealthy, dismissed as selfish, without actually trying to have a discussion about it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another thing. People, that's one thing that's actually not unique to Japan is that pretty much all first world nations are experiencing a population decline.
Certainly,
especially. Sorry
to a certain extent, though, Japan's is significant. Like it's beyond that of most first world nations.
Well, yeah. If you look at their
that's because the lack of immigration.
Yeah.
Well, that, but also because they have an aging population that's not being replaced.
Yeah.
Which is
the entire problem.
Right. If you look at a population like like pyramid, if you will, like where it shows the age groups going all the way up to whatever 80, 90, wherever it goes. It obviously it'll be the biggest at the bottom and it gets smaller as you get older because that's when bad things tend to happen. But
yeah.
But the point is a healthy population looks like a pyramid. Triangle.
Right.
Theirs does not. Theirs looks like an urn.
Yeah, if you look at Japan's population over time, you've got this big moving bulge in their population.
In the middle.
That's just moving gradually upward.
And it's like one of the only places that's like that.
Exactly.
It's easy to blame it on, not immigration. I think a lot of it also comes down to, again, not something that's pleasant, but the work culture they have.
It's the fact that it's such that raising a child requires the income of two. Like having a household and raising a child requires the income of two. But if both parents are working, who's going to take care of the child?
Also, something that's I've heard been touched on, but little discussed, is about how in Japan women are expected to control the finances.
And they control the household finances, but then they're also at work. So who's taking care of the child? You can't have a child and then have the baby sitting at home while both parents are working to support the child.
But not just the finances, not just the finances. They control the raising of the child. They control everything, like how they educate.
The paradigm is the husband goes to work, and that's the husband's responsibility. Go to work, bring back the money. Everything else is taken care of by the wife. The problem is that, and I'm hesitant to portray that as a problem because it kind of brings it back as it's a big problem societally. That's just a societal shift, and what it's resulting in is this difficulty in how are we going to bring a child in this world when we can't support it unless both parents are working, but then no one's taking care of the kid. But that's beyond what I'm going for. Is what I'm saying more so is they focus on every time people bring up otaku with the opinion leaders of the anime fandom. That term.
Yeah.
It's always the focus on all these negative aspects. Always the focus on they don't date. They're so obsessed with their stuff. They walk around with Dakimakura pillows, even though like 3 people do that.
They always walk around with their Dakimakura.
Well, that's the weird thing. It is, I hear it all the time. I hear that these on one hand you'll have people saying, oh, these are this little niche of people that society thinks are losers. But then you have the same people saying that they're affecting the population in terms of growth and birth rates and stuff. How can these two things be happening?
Pick a lane. Pick a lane because you can't be in both.
These things cannot be happening at the same time.
These are 2 diametrically opposed paradigms.
It's a niche, but it's taken over.
But it's messing up the birth rate.
It's significant enough to mess up the birth rate, but it's a super niche. It means it's bad.
I'm sure if you told that to a robot, the robot would just explode.
Well, that's just it, though.
It's a logic loop fallacy.
There is no logical connection there. You can't really do both of those at the same time because, well, they negate each other to an extent.
And it's gotten to the point where the arguments are so ridiculous that I just have to default to the old standard. Either you're lying or you're stupid. Though either you're lying or you're ignorant. I'm not going to use stupid, but either you're lying or you're ignorant.
In the words of Starscream, I'm stupid.
Because it's either you're just ignorant of the fact that there's all this media out here that disproves a whole lot of this stuff people are saying about otaku, or you're just willfully lying because that feeds your narrative.
Which I'm willing to probably wager on the latter.
I'm not yet prepared to believe that these people are that dumb that they don't know this stuff is out there. I'm not prepared to assess that the opinion leaders, again, quote unquote, of the anime fandom are that ignorant as to not know that otaku spaces exist and that the Moe Manifesto exists. I gotta believe they know it exists. They're just trying to push a narrative because
they just don't care.
I wouldn't even say it's that they don't care. Put the conspiracy theory hat on. Discouraging otaku type behavior would give them less of what they don't want in the anime fandom.
Yeah, self-serving. I gotcha. Basically, but that of course this is also a logical sort of error because just because this stuff exists and a bunch of it's being made, if it were to disappear, it doesn't mean the stuff you'd like would be being made.
Certainly, but by the same token,
they're getting JoJo, so why are they complaining?
By the same token, I'm not sure if they really care about that so much as they just care that there's people out here that are, to them, making anime look bad when really they're just being fans of the shows they want to see. And
all these fans liking this degenerate stuff.
Yeah, exactly. The end game of getting rid of those people and the end game of getting more of what they want, they might be connected tangentially, but they might be 2 different end games. I don't know.
But here's the thing: these people are bad at math. There's more of them.
I mean, hey, here's the thing: you can't be shamed if you're not already ashamed of what you're doing.
No, you can't shame somebody who doesn't give a fuck.
Exactly. And
but then they're
otaku,
like,
by their very nature, don't give a damn.
But they should have shame, otherwise they have autism.
Well, too bad. Too bad. I'm not ashamed of you. Not ashamed of. I'm not scared of you. I'm not ashamed of anything I'm doing.
Not only that, but really, are you going to use autism as like some kind of
That's
you know?
That's it's the go-to at this point.
I know. It's the new
Everyone's
retard. It's the new It's the new as an insult.
But it's a stupid insult though.
Because it's like not politically correct to use retard, but it's still
politically correct to use autist.
Oh, I know that. I know that.
Quite frankly, autist is actually more offensive. You know, I mean, come on now. But I mean, a lot of people on the autism spectrum, there's a ton of them out there. Many of which that are like these ridiculous genius brains that throughout history. Granted, some of it's been kind of figured out in kind of retrospect. They had, like Asperger's or something like that. But the point is, when somebody's called that, it just strikes me as weird because it's like, so somebody has a fixation, an unnormal or an abnormal fixation on something.
Well, here's the problem.
It's the same thing where when people call otaku right wing, it's virtue signaling to other people who are like them, saying, okay, this person is bad because I'm going to associate with them with something that we all have previously agreed is bad.
Well, here's the thing. Well, a lot of people, autism equals Chris Chan. That's
he's got way more wrong with him than that.
Yeah, I know that. But I'm just saying that's what a lot of people kind of think. It's like autism equals Chris Chan.
So I mean, maybe part of the reason is that they just have low-level thinking and can't they can't process nuanced points.
No,
process that autism is indeed a spectrum, and that Chris Chan is on that spectrum. There's a whole lot of people who are normally functioning individuals who are also on the autism spectrum.
Yeah, I mean, I've never quite understood it myself. I mean, it's always been weird that it's been used as a pejorative to me. I mean,
you like to think too much.
It's that exact thing. It's the same. Like I said, it's the same thing as calling otaku right wing.
Well, in that case, I think it's because they're so far left wing that anything that isn't in their basically in their little circle is right wing.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's we have all previously agreed that right wing, quote unquote, is a bad thing. So if we call this person right wing, it signals to all of us in our in-group that this person is bad.
Personally, I just think that's funny to begin with. To use again, and it shows the kind of character they have too.
Again, it's a failure to process a nuanced point.
Because yes, I mean, I don't know. Most otaku I know aren't particularly very political. I mean, some of them are, but most of the ones I know, or if they are, they're not very open about it.
Yeah, that's what I kind of noticed. Most of them seem to be apolitical, or
we can say they're apolitical, or we can point to in May of last year when a whole bunch of them turned out to blockade people who are protesting the presence of foreigners in Japan.
Also,
so we can look at some posts from Chu Channel and say, oh, otaku are right wing, or we can look at what people are actually doing in real life and base our assessment on that. But no, we have a narrative to push because we're trying to discourage people over here from acting more like people over there. At that point, you're pushing being dispassionate as a virtue. And that's something I can't abide by at all.
I was gonna say, Also, don't use the excuse that, oh, they like, Moe military, or they're, really into like gun stuff, or as like, oh, that means they're right wing.
Again, that's a failure to process a nuanced point.
Don't use the excuse that oh, because they're into like Concoli or Strike.
This is what I hate about the left-right dichotomy. There's no room for nuance at all.
Nah.
You can't have varied opinions on different issues anymore.
No,
you have to.
It's very binary thinking.
Yeah, you have to pipigeonhole yourself into.
It's either this or that, and the thing is just like anything else.
Which means you're on this side, which means you hold all of these opinions on these issues, whether or not you actually hold those opinions on those issues, or you're on this side, which means you hold all these alternate opinions on these alternate issues. Speaking
of things that are a spectrum,
yeah,
political views tend to be on that. I mean, certainly, and not even a grid. I tend to think of it more of a sphere.
Yeah, it's a bubble. You can't even delineate it on a spectrum like that, because there are so many different issues that it's really impossible to put yourself on a point in the line closer to one side or the other based on your opinions on this, that, or the other thing. So the whole thing is they look at this in simple terms, and it's even evident in like the media they choose to reinforce their point. Like you'll see like people say, oh, Resentiment, this is the real portrayal of otaku. It's like, no, it's a manga. If you're gonna say that that's the real portrayal of otaku, then Genshiken and Comic Party and Ori-Imo are all just as real. All these really celebratory works, they're all just as real.
Well, not only that, but one of the things I really dislike, and it's something it's a phrase I keep hearing a lot now. It's usually in like press releases or something like that. It's not even necessarily in anime. It's just in general that I keep hearing now. Is this pisses off the right kind of people?
Oh yeah, that was a big thing with the with Akunohana, and look where that ended up.
Well, I just think
the Karamoe people are probably gonna be disappointed that
it's not much
the main character isn't cute. So okay, if you're gonna build your platform on that, then we'll see you next season when you're completely irrelevant.
But yeah, I mean, it's like a value judgment, and it's weird to me. Like, hey, this thing saying X, Y, Z, whatever it is, pisses off person XYZ. Therefore it's good.
Yeah, this thing pisses off people, and you don't like those people, do you? So, yeah, so you're on board with what we're doing because we're endeavoring to anger people that you already don't like.
I mean, it strikes me as very petty and very immature.
It's a petty, immature, and at the end of the day, really weak and really kind of. It's what you do when you run out of things to build your platform on. When you can't build your platform on, this is really good, or this has elements in it that you will enjoy, or this is done by a really respected staff, real good director, good writer, all that. When you run out of all that stuff, or you didn't have any of that stuff in the first place, you can default to, oh, this is gonna piss off people you don't like.
Right. I mean,
same thing is what happened with Psychopaths. What happened with Akunohana. Hey. Run your entire campaign off of controversy because you have nothing else.
And a lot of the controversy is just manufactured, so.
Well, of course.
The
whole thing back when like back when free wasn't a thing, back when it was that commercial, and like 2 Moe fans got mad, and all of a sudden it's this whole big thing where we need to down on Moe fans because apparently they all hate Fujoshi.
Yeah, I found that very bizarre, and it also
Very pissed me off.
It
like,
really is just
you're,
it's confirmation bias.
You're on this platform about, okay, we need to stop drawing these dumb lines in the sand between fandoms, and we need to be nice to each other and all that. And then when the anime actually comes out, you're gloating, saying, "Oh, take that, Moe Otaku. That's one less show for you." It's
Oh,
like,
yeah, we're free.
What are you doing? You were like 2 months ago. You were all on about this. Oh, we need to come together as anime fans, and now you're doing this shit. Are you actually on this come together as anime fans platform, or do you just hate Moe fans and are gonna take any kind of virtue signaling sort of excuse to down on them, and then when something happens that's a negative for them, you're just gonna gloat about it because you actually don't like those people? Are you really on this, or are you halfway on this because it feeds into your worldview? What are you doing? It's ridiculous.
Rampage.
I think we said all we could say without Anubis's head popping.
One last thing, though, since you were pointing out that, how I'm trying to think how to word this properly. It's one thing I've never really liked about that more than anything else is this assumption that like, oh, I'm mad, like, about something like that. It's like, I don't even give a fuck,
dog.
like at all. It's a non-issue.
I watched a good bit of Free. It's a decent anime. I'm not gonna say it's bad. I'm not gonna say I don't like it. It's a good show. I just don't. I don't like when people get up on here, on this platform of togetherness and coming together and like shutting out all the hatred and the negativity, because then they turn around and go on this whole tirade about how the Moe fans are getting one less anime, and I'm looking at it,
I'm so upset.
You were just on because this is the whole thing I've been on since 2009. This is like, if you were to distill my entire thing, everything I've been saying since I started anime blogging. So it's probably not like since I started blogging about anime, I started doing editorials. All I've been saying is all this negativity stuff is out of control. We need to come to a place where we can come together as anime fans and say, okay, let's understand each other. But then we have people preaching the same ethos, but then turning around and doing the exact same shit they've been doing that I've been on. So that's my whole thing, and that's my whole thing about everything, and that's my whole thing about otaku. Stop lying. It's not doing anyone any good. We're gonna try and understand this medium. We need to not discourage. We need to not shut out the people who helped build everything we know about anime.
Heat level critical.
We built this city.
Really, VZ.
Hey, I like that song.
Yeah. Anyhow,
the email address is ntrradio@gmail.com. The website is sheslostcontrol.net/podcast or sheslostcontrol.net/ntrradio. Check out VZ stuff at vzmk2moe.wordpress.com. Check out iyashike.moe. Check out Neon the magazine. The May issue drops May 1st. And I'm saying, you heard that tirade in the third segment. That's basically the entire third part of The Truth About Otaku, where I take on that argument. Then there's a lot of the other articles in there, straight fire, if I do say so myself.
Can't wait
Check
to
out
see
Nyan
what
magazine.
cover you used.
She's also controlled at /Nyan. That's NYAAN, not your average anime nerds. You can follow KGods on Twitter at LazyErica00. You can follow VZ on Twitter, VZMK2, and you can follow me on Twitter on TEAnubis. Listen to Otaku Midnight because they're really good. In addition to the Bakugaijin show. I'm Tom Force for Anubis.
K-Gods.
I'm VZ the Cuck. VZ Mark II.
And even though we pull a Ori emo every time we say it, this is NTR Radio.